Greetings and welcome. It's Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. All right, in today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the Great American Solar Eclipse, which will be taking place April the 8th, which is in a few days from today. I'm recording this episode on April the 2nd in the afternoon. So just to lead up into why I'm doing the show, there's been a lot of comms from psychics, astrologers, all the practitioners are saying this is going to be a big one or significant. Now, from my own experience from this year, and I've mentioned in previous videos, being in an 8th year has brought about some intense energy with it already. And 8 also speaks about the solar system, planets, alignment, etc. So this is the year. Now, having looked at, and I'm going to go to the chart now, having looked at the day, and there's a bit of information here, but I'll take you through it slowly. If we start on the bottom left, Monday, April 8th, 2024, we have the 4, and we see a mass of 8s, triple 8s. Now, for me, that already says there's an imbalance that has occurred. And I don't want to be a Peter the Wolf guy, but there's been a lot of speculation going on the net, and it's coming from valid sources, in my opinion, that there is a major shift going to happen. Now, whether that happens, let's say, in the spirit world or in the metaphysical world, or is there an actual physical shift on Earth as well? And I'll be the first to say I'm no astrologer, so I will stick to the numbers. But certainly now that we've gone into retrograde, officially on the April the 1st, the energy becomes more intense, right? And we are approaching the solar eclipse on April the 8th, so that brings another kind of energy. So when I started looking at the numbers, and I see the day the eclipse happens, because there's a big corridor that goes through the US when this takes place. From a numerology point of view, if I had to look at this as an overview, that week, April the 8th till April the 11th, the week starts with a bit of a wobbly, a bit of an imbalance. Also, outcome 11-2. A lot of uncertainty, or not a very nice day. It's not a solid day. Or let's put it this way, during the day it becomes the 12-3. So there is a little bit more stability. However, the outcome with the 22 and 11-2 brings about uncertainty for me. That we get into April the 9th. The numbers I'm seeing around here, and including the Wednesday, not very nice numbers. And of course, my channel is mainly dealing with crime. And there's a lot of negative numbers popping up if we had a worst case scenario. And of course, in this episode, the event day will be April the 8th. So what I'm going to do now, instead of going forward, I'm going to go backwards, because in my opinion, by the time we get to Monday, we have those triple 8s. So for me, the imbalance has already occurred. So what has caused this imbalance is what I'm looking at. And full disclosure, I did get a, how can I say, I received a message a few days ago. And I believe the message pertains also to and around the solar eclipse. And the message I received is not a very good one, unfortunately. And that's what has also drawn my attention to this particular solar eclipse. Like I say, I'm not proficient in astrology by any means. But looking at the days after and the days before, there is some alarm bells for me. And please, I'm going to speak generally and philosophically, because I don't want to say this is going to happen and over there and there. That's not going to happen. What I'm going to give cautions in this episode. So when we start looking back on the top row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Thursday in blue, Friday in orange, Saturday in red, Sunday in orange. So that's for me the orange and red zone for this week coming. Now, on a surface level, the Thursday, which is approaching in 2 days' time, we have those 888s. There's another imbalance there. So there's a lot of imbalance going on, a lot of energy shifting going on around. And when we get to Friday, April the 5th, there seems to be some stability in the stack of 8s. But the message I received pertains to the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe. And that these days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it would be April 5, 6, and 7, are caution days. Now, to go deeper, of course, I can see, in a sense, what is going to happen if I go based on my messaging that there is going to be an event, a seismic event in and around the eclipse. And when I started reviewing this, I believe the key day will be Saturday. But I've highlighted Friday and Sunday as the caution days, because I do believe there is male, yes, I'll explain why. Or I was going to say there are hands at play that can decide either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, in my opinion. But I've done 2 confirmations on this, and I'm getting Saturday, April 6. Good idea not to be around big or massive crowds or high-profile events of that nature, just as a safety precaution. Now, what I did was, because this is serious information, so fortunately, I'm now more knowledgeable on numerology versus a few years ago, let's say. I brought in March continuing, if we continued the calendar of March. And I've positioned the dates where it would fall in relation to April, just to keep the energy flowing, which also allows me to see a little bit more clearly what is going on in a nutshell, because when you have April the 4th to April the 7th, we have single-digit numbers, and of course they do tell me a story, but they don't tell me a full enough story that I needed, and that's why I went to what I'm putting there, energy flow, March 35 to March 38. If you like, energy days, shadow days, underneath, let's say, what is happening in April the 4th to April the 7th. Now, interestingly, the shadow day, March 35, also reveals the imbalance of the 8s. Very interesting. Now, this is just giving me, from a psychic, intuition, clairvoyant feeling of what's going on, because the larger the numbers is more of a story, right? So when we get to Saturday, March, now written as March 37, 2024, we have the presence of a 44, 404. That for me is I'm going to call it a seismic event. Seismic Earth event on the one hand. So the likes of an earthquake, and unfortunately it is a large one. When you get 44 like that, it is large. So you'll see on Saturday, April the 6th, above it, we have the 10-1. Now, the 10-1 also alludes to a group. Okay? A group of people, a seismic energy burst, if you like, larger than normal. So there's reflection there as well. Now, what concerns me about Saturday, the April the 6th version, April 6 on the top, is we have an 89 outcome. In conjunction with, because no number operates on its own, the outcome the following day, 19-10-1. That for me is not good, and I will explain what it means, but I'm just pointing it out for you. Then when we go to April the 8th, we got the 22 that I mentioned, very emotional outburst day. A lot of emotions going around. Wobbly day, 11-2, 22, a lot of emotions. So, in a crime situation, the 18-9, 19-10-1 shows me there are passings. And even in a normal situation, I mean, I'm not saying the eclipse is a crime, but the 18-9, it's also a passing with the 9 outcome, passing. And the 7, the next day, April the 7, 7 is innocence. Innocent people passing. When we look at March the 37th, below the April the 6th, we also have a 13-4 outcome there. And that 13-4 speaks about passing. And this passing is on a group scale, a large scale. So if I had to give an example, and I don't mean to belittle any event in our lives, but with the recent Baltimore situation, the boat that went the boat that went into the bridge, if I had to put it on a level, it would be like a 10-1. It would be like a 10. Whereas I believe the event that's going to take place, or the potential, goes to a 44, 404. That's a seismic Earth event. Now, that's on the one side. On the other side, it can also speak to explosive devices. Devices that ignite through the usual whatever, however they work, but there is chemical composition. Chemical composition. That also brings about 13.4. And the 48.12 outcome, 48.12.3, and a hidden 21.3, is people caught in a seismic event and are now feeling trapped as a result of that event. Then we get to March 38, which then would be the Sunday. The next alarming number for me is the 38.11.2. That's not a good way to wake up in the morning. If there was ever uncertainty in the air, is when you wake up to a 38.11.2. Now, of course, my perspective is on the US. My focus is on the US. I'm not necessarily talking about around the world, but it can. But I'm looking out because all the alarm bells are around the US at this time, and it is known as the Great American Solar Eclipse. Very significant. The 41.5 is like earth shattering destruction. This is like significant, very significant. And I believe with the 14.5, man-made. This was not a natural event. 14.5. And subsequently, that 14.5 pings directly on the US outcome number, 14.5. So there is something coming. And it's not going to be good. And the day starts with an 11.2. The day starts with an 11.2, and USA has the 11.2 in the day. So I recently watched another video of a Navajo chief on his take on the solar eclipse. And I mean, he said a lot of things, but there's one thing that he said. It's better to stay indoors around Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Haven't you ever had those feelings, oh, today's the perfect day or this weekend, I'm staying at home, I'm chilling at home, sort out things that need to be sorted out in the home, have the home barbecue, have the home gathering. So just also a disclosure, this is probably the third or fourth time I'm looking at this. And the message I received is of a seismic event. The day I received the vision or the message, when I looked at it from a numerology point of view, completely matched the April the 8th solar eclipse. The day I received the message matched the outcome, the middle of the day and outcome of the solar eclipse from a numerology point of view. However, the missing numbers or the different numbers alluded me to the fact that it will happen pre-April 8. That's how it began. And that's why I look back. April 7, April 6, April 5, April 4. So leading up to the weekend, 5, 6, 7 April. And this is where I've determined and got my information from. And you know, over the years, a lot of psychics and astrologers have always said, you know, this one is the one, or this one is the big event, or this one is this type of solar eclipse. And I've never really took much notice of it. Funny enough, this year I've been very in tune into the energy of the year. And when my regular news feeds start popping up with very similar messaging, then it's worth taking a look at. So for me, I'm definitely getting a seismic event in line with April the 6th. A lot of Earth. All right, so let's zoom in. What I'm going to do is I've separated the day, I believe, of the event. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because if the event is on Saturday, and we're working on an hypothesis here, then the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be reflection. And I've brought in the shadow days as well, so I get as much information as possible. So let's have a look here. Now I'm going to look at the bottom row first, March 37 to March 40. And you know immediately where the event day, I believe, 44, is reflected on the summary day, March 40. Seismic event at 43.7 hertz, people. It's a lot of people. Sorry to say, I'm feeling it. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. The 51.6 there, red, is also not a good outcome. It's a lot of destruction. A lot of destruction. The March 39, I flagged the 55.0 with a 5 outcome, 55. That's also treacherous, not good. It's almost like as a result of all the destruction, there's more destruction as a result of the original destruction, if you know what I mean. It's people that are, for example, who are in critical condition that don't make it. It's next level pain. And I recently did a reading with that 505. And my exact words were deadly. Again, I have to keep putting disclaimers. I don't want to be the shouting wolf here. But I respect when I receive messaging, and the manner in which I received it was the right way. So I'm taking it seriously. You see there on March the 38th as well, I'll just mark it in. Well, I'm going to mark the 41.5 because that is not good at all. Massive destruction. The 22.4 is also problematic. Also very much an earth number. if this was orchestrated by man, that would also indicate that this was planned event. There's what I'm seeing overall. There's like a reduction in numbers. There's like, it could be like the equivalent of a building falling down, if you know what I mean. So if we go on the top row, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we're looking for confirmations of the same, on that Monday, we've got that emotional outburst, the 22. Also speaks about water. The Tuesday, the 13-4, the 21-3, very negative numbers. I mean, that Monday, this Monday here as well, actually. I didn't bring it through, beg your pardon. Not good numbers around, unfortunately. I'm just going to try to stay in it as long as possible, and just see if I pick up any additional information. As I say, I've been working on this for a few days. And the messaging I was given, it's not exactly a positive outcome, unfortunately. But I would just say, and I don't want to be Peter the Wolf guy, but just keep your eyes and ears open around Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm just saying, maybe stay at home that weekend. But see how you feel. What's your instincts telling you? But this will be known as a cautionary tale, because I also believe there are manipulators in the background that can manipulate these situations as well. And if need be, and I will just say, if need be, if something bad happens that is created by man, we will look at it, because I have looked at it, but we'll see. Because I believe there are manipulators and people that are orchestrating these events. All right. I'm just putting pauses in between all my meditations, because this is serious information. Nothing to be taken lightly. And also, I don't want to be blowing the horn and then everyone runs and hides, and then I look like an idiot. But I've gone through this several times. I resorted to the shadow days, energy days, just to make 100% sure, and it confirms there for me. So let's just keep your eyes and ears open. Let's get our spider senses up and running by Thursday, Friday. Keep our eyes and ears open out there, please. All right, be safe, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next one.